time coming. Long time coming. That Shaligram has been a long time coming. It's probably been at least a year since probably been at least a year since I first saw this. Looked at it, was like, is that real? Recently posting it on a Facebook forum for paleontology, being like, is this real? Where they're all like, yeah, it's real. Like, unless it was $100,000 fake. Like, okay, it's not real. It's not that. So, it's real. Once it was here yesterday, surprise, surprise, I was a little confused. The shipping, also the Pope died, and it made me think of this. I don't know. People have suggested that the last Pope was the Pope that just died, according to the prophecy of the popes. Interesting. Anyway, I'm also making a video on Shaligrams. I was thinking, should I play it? I like the idea of leaving it out of my videos, but it might be cool to play it in this video, kind of like hidden, so that people can see it if they want. Because I'm working on it, it's kind of like my Dorka video, but for Shaligrams, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to find, I could have sworn I posted the video, not just this. There it is. I'm kind of doxing myself, especially when I point it out. There's objects. Okay. So, in person, it came to my attention that the sides they're not as flat as they look in the images. When I saw it, I thought this side and this side were basically flat. And they're much more like two rounded sides that kind of go like in at the center, but rounded. We're definitely gonna look at this soon. I haven't really looked at it. I did look at it, so just not that much. I'll turn things off. Before I go killing batteries for no reason. Okay. Whoa. World's going crazy too. Freaking A. India and Pakistan. How crazy is that? Speaking of my ancient Dwarka video. Usually my Shaligram videos are pretty much Shaligrams, and I really want to talk about this. But it does come to mind if I go India, Pakistan, India, Pakistan. I don't know what's going on. I just like noticed over here is like Pakistan. I was like, that's not usually popping up. Oh my god, okay, it's just a bunch of other things, I guess. Okay, let's keep our eye on the amazing Shaligram. Oh my, so you can kind of see how it's rounded. Here, this is rounded. And this is rounded, like here more than it. I gotta almost look at it again. Be like, oh yeah, that's the way in which it's rounded, yeah. It's rounded more so from like right out the edge of the camera to about here actually on this side, interestingly. And then this portion seems almost like something's up where it's like approaching a boundary, so some outcome changed in there. And then this is kind of indented, and we can see it here. Like it's not flat this way, it's more indented in this area, which is curious. It slopes here, so it slopes right here from here to here, and then angle down, slope over. And then this rounded here. The rounded of this though is like basically from the beginning to about here, and then a slight difference over on that last part again, but very slight, where it's almost just a continuous like rounded, almost like it was just kind of being a belemnite baculite kind of structure at play, but just didn't quite form that way. Where like this in the middle is kind of trying to be one of those. This was trying to be one. This was trying to be one. But between all these energies, the like a pseudo ammonite happened. Several eddies happened, I guess. Something happened with the way the eddies formed, or it wasn't orderly like usual, but it still had general structure. So it formed like a pseudo chakra. It formed all these weird ribs. It formed like a rounded structure. The outside of the shaligram is the smoothest shaligram I've ever seen, I've ever touched. Its every detail is as it was depicted, and the things I've seen are already even cooler than I could have imagined. Something like it's kind of forming a chakra between that lighter area, like going almost like this, and then this area. Interestingly, it like goes in here, like in, so that this is all exposed. Some lines. This is something I also noticed. These lines on this structure, I don't think, it was really hard to tell. I don't think they actually match the surrounding structure very well, if at all. Like I think they're going more this way. Although this one is bending more, but this one, like, although it does have this, freaking incredible. Wow. Shout out to the guy who made this possible. It's crazy to think about. Things that I won't talk about, but situations and differences in life, I guess. It would be cool, I was thinking, to really study this one. I think it's basically, I think it's priceless. And I basically took a family heirloom. So I would like to perhaps see it back to its original location. I was thinking, because it's incredible, but like it's pretty sweet to check it out. I don't know if I'll do that, so now I feel weird. Oh my gosh, shit, I'm lazy. Like even if I want to do it, send it back. Hey man, listen. This is priceless. And a family heirloom. Sorry for whatever made you sell it. Because in other circumstances, you probably wouldn't have. But like where money is so different in different locations. Like India, the difference. I think India, it's like kind of incredible how much a Shaligram is for like a single, like, let's see, in average mean family income in India in US dollar. It's like 2 months. 2 months. It's fucking crazy. So in a market where like the average Joe, if you will, can just like pay for this, and it actually matters to the person selling it in a financial way, but it's like clearly worth way more. This one particularly, anyway, I'll oh my. Utterly nonsense. Utterly nonsense for modern science. It's hilarious. So at least currents could explain this. Let's see. This might actually help us. Let's take an image. Let me set this most incredible Shaligram here. Finish the sentence way after I put it down, so it's really not here anymore. Okay, where is it? Okay, let's see what this is in my my Shaligram video talking about anomalies and how they point in directions. So we definitely see something kind of like cutting in and getting caught there, and maybe there too, and giving me an impression that it's kind of getting funneled though, like that way, where maybe it ran into this side, like there, so that there is a inlet side and an outlet side in that regard, at least. That's maybe also got like parallel aspects here, but it seems to be interacting. Like these are generally here. Like there's a chakra kind of pseudo forming here. Which I would think would point to currents coming in like this that are basically squeezing this current. Squeezing is so much so that they actually push it into the Shaligram. And then just basically eddying where there's actually a counter current in this area. Even here, like maybe kind of going in like this and across there, across here. Should probably have done that in multiple colors, so let's do that. Blue, where it's like going left, will be generally blue. Guess this might actually also be like a, let's do it in red. Try to like going basically counter to this, like an off-shooting current that maybe goes this way. Maybe goes this way too, so I'm not completely sure which direction those would be going. But the point is currents can generally explain this. It's definitely complex, and trying to figure it out would take some effort. Maybe I can get somewhere today. I don't know. I really haven't tried to like specifically explain it, but this gives me the first, I don't know why it does this, the first like maybe it's possible feeling, seeing it from that angle as a starting point. I got like so many tall seed plants now. So many. They started sprouting in places I didn't even plant them. I'm like, cool, sweet, nice. Nearby pots got them. Fuck yeah. I didn't even plant that there. Fucking sweet. And new ones I didn't plant. At least I don't think so. Maybe they never grew before. Okay, let's check this let's check. Oh, what's the freaking? Oh, let's check this Shaligram out. This time I made a point to prepare so I can do this better by using the camera, which is already ready. So I don't have to toggle it into the app, into Streamlabs, so that it's actually here so I can mouse over stuff. Okay, cool. So let's go out a bit. Why is this like this? Whatever. Okay. Just try to go out as far as I can to start. Also, I can take pictures. Put out. I was looking at other cameras. I would hate to get one and have it not be better. It would be amazing to get one I can take really good pictures of this, like this. Not this necessarily, this one too, but not this one, but this almost looks like, like the structure of an ammonite, like the ribs, like actually an ammonite though, like down where these are the ribs of it. Like it kind of gives me that impression by the way it is, where it's got these spaces, like the rib is kind of dipping down as it approaches the other one. So it's less up. Where it like maybe kind of tried to do something of that nature. These things. Like the way this goes over and then it has this thing, but then continues over and does it again where it has a similar like structure here. This, these. But then this just goes down. That's interesting how these, like it has one here, one here, one here, one here, but then this one has two. Almost like whatever was happened in all of them. When like this way kind of collided and went back and created like an overall structure that it eroded out as like a little lobe thing. But then this one, they, instead of going back, they went their own paths. Maybe? I don't know. Just spitballing here. Wow, what a freaking... Okay, dudes. No one's actually here right now, really? Maybe? I don't know. Sorry if anyone's there, but... So I'm not gonna try to like entertain per se. I'm just gonna check this thing out. So I stop like looking over there. Like, oh, look at me! I look like a fucking idiot looking at me. All people like this dude looks at himself all the time. Yeah, it's weird. The whole thing is weird. I don't want to be doing this shit. I'm like, what are they saying? Oh fuck. Okay. This is cool. What? That's right at the corner. Like a little inlet / outlet. like a one of those milk pouches in high school or school. I don't know how many people know what I'm talking about. These things. You just kind of bite the corner and sip out of it. Or you use a straw, I don't know. Like a human being. We're not beasts here. But let's say hypothetically like do something at the corner, stretch it and rip it. Like it kind of does that. Which maybe would suggest an outlet location. Is that opposite to... No, that is on the side we were looking at. Although it is on the side of this thing in terms of this image. Don't know why. Stop it. In terms of this image, oh, maybe it's that thing. Where that outlet is over here, but this is all on this face, and then there's the other face with that little round thing here, the chakra that's visible. This thing looks like a freaking alien. Oh my god, dudes. Mind blowing. Holy shit, it looks like an alien. Eyeball, like some kind of brain situation. Shoulder, hand. Maybe even it seated in some kind of alien shuttle. Dudes, what? Like, what the frick? And then that thing in his brain, the alien brain, with this beam in the back of it. His ship is riding a wave. Holy shit, dude. That's maybe got some kind of mass or bulk behind it, kind of urging the wave along. I don't know why that would be anything related to some epiphany in the UFO understanding, but it would be crazy if it like was relevant how this was. Wait, what the fuck? Definitely can see some kind of boundary there. But then stuff over here is like generally going this way. Stuff over here is bending. And maybe even this one bending in here. Like a boundary that then bends. Boundary that then bends. And then maybe even a boundary that bends. Like the actual inlet. So like it comes, or maybe it like goes across along the other face, runs into this side, goes back along this face, so that there's like an in out, and it's like spraying upward more like this. Like it's literally going down and in on the right side, let's say. Just theorizing here. Contemplating what? Perfectly reasonable things going on in Shaligram world as usual. Maybe it went out this way, but surrounding pressures didn't just like allow it to flow anywhere. Let's see. Is there any? Okay, it's going down here. Seeing lots of down. So imagine current flowing like off of the edge and then generally down and around the stone, where then it's interacting with other currents going left to right, but we still see the down trend in there. That's kind of creating little, I see like little cubes in here, or squares, I guess. Maybe I could get closer, but some reason certain magnifications are best, not necessarily closer sometimes. Well, that's because that's where you see what you want to see. Let's go back out, see what happens. do feel like I see generally down here. It's definitely going more this way right there. Over here as well. So there's probably more of a trend this way. So maybe it's going down and is getting trended around. Like it's not just going directly around. Or it's going more off that way then. My thought is that maybe it goes generally around. Like here, we can see some up down here. Across where this pretty strong current going left to right seemingly was. Or right to left. Whatever. One of the directions where it would ultimately lead to interaction with another current that then led to it actually cutting into the stone according to its flow patterns. Had boundaries of interactions between the currents, like a fabric that are all interacting with one another, these threads of currents, and like sheets of currents. But even the sheets are threaded. Okay. And then they get over here where we really don't see any. I guess there is a little bit. I mean, even that there is this going on might be because of it, but there's an angle this way. Okay, now we're really losing much of any up and down. I was essentially thinking that it then basically came back here to the other side, so that it went in this way and then went back out over here, but it specifically exited maybe here on this side, exited here, but on the other side exited maybe actually in these ways. I don't know if that makes any sense. I guess if it's going this way and then going back into itself, it might just create boundaries and go off down those channels like that and lead to a ramping current like that. I don't know why that would lead to these things though, so I don't know. Okay. Let's actually look at the stone. That alien is out of control. Wow. It's got like a little big old smiley face of like Rick and Morty looking a little bit. I guess Rick. Whichever the old dude is. Definitely, at least here is like a noticeable ring around it, and then there, it maybe looks related there. Maybe this, maybe here. And this side relating to this, I don't know. Is this there? And maybe. Well. seems like if I go right here, let's say right along this boundary, that's there, as best as I could do it. If I just follow that, it basically associates with this, and then like the other side associates with there, and then this one with this side, and then this is interesting. It kind of goes like that, but then here, this one I was thinking actually, like we see stuff going more this way. Maybe it like kind of is this whole area effectively some relationship of both this side and this side to this boundary some reason, whereas this one seems only related to one side, and then this one related to one side. If such a thing is going on, I mean, if we go this way, I kind of see going through here to about there, and then if I go like that, and go do it on the other side. Like, it's definitely got things of this nature going on. This one almost looks like it switched, or actually, like it's like here, and it goes this way. Then we got this here. I think here's a little node here. Maybe a node there, where it's doing things of that nature. Maybe a little bit there. Possibly in the ones like here-ish. Definitely see some curvature here, like indicating some kind of roundedness here as well. This even appears to be doing like an ammonite more so. That's interesting. Where it's creating like a chakra and an ammonite. Just subtly. Then again over here we got some kind of thing. The shape that's kind of related to here. Which seems more to like pinch off there. Interesting. I don't know. Just observing right now. Definitely see it again here. A circle with like a general ringed pattern in the way the structure is. Way the grains are arranged. Whoa. Maybe both, like here it looks like we can see it actually dipping down and around. How crazy is that? There's the alien. I think I'm blocking it too much. It's like, check me out now. Whoa. Whoa. This right here looks all... I thought it was the alien thing with the way that this is in here. But it's not? What am I even looking at? I need a toothpick. Oh, it's the other side. Pause. I'm just totally. It's the other side. Just look. It doesn't need. The heck? Let's start looking. Like modern science. It's literally it's like it's melted around the edge because it formed when the internal structure was like this. Like, this doesn't make any sense in modern science. Just randomly looking like that, just on a smaller scale right next to it again. What the fuck? Whoa, he's seated with his back to a chakra. This detail's incredible. Like, what the fuck? Scheiße. Lost it. Oh, that's it. It even has like little ones within the little ones. Oh my god. a toothpick for comparison. That's the tip of a toothpick abutting here. So that's the scale. And then they're all little threads. We can definitely see them inside too. Just here we really see it with the contrast. Whatever. Wasn't really getting quite in focus. Whoa. Oh my. It's like narrow here and then fanning out across it. Possibly kind of dividing and going down here. Ugh. Okay, I gotta zoom out. What the frick is that? Oh. Oh. Still the alien. Okay. Go this way, I guess. It's still the alien. There we go. Back to the other side. The way this is. It's almost like an eddy here that was generally a current here. That maybe had nowhere else to go, so it eddied here. And then went that way. Leading to a larger eddy that maybe went across this boundary. To around here and turned. Back. Maybe this is a better starting point. This looks almost like a similar thing, counter to it. Eddy over here, eddy over here. Maybe with some kind of eddy between them as well. Something between them where they're not actually joining. So maybe multiple eddies. Multiple counter eddies. wow. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. These are all seemingly erosion induced, like, pores. And then, like, around the pore, it eroded and made it different. The more lighter colors that's underneath the shale that was coating all this while the currents were eroding it. And if the currents deposited shale in certain locations, that it compressed into mounds, and otherwise were generally eroding in, then they could basically do this and create structure where they erode, though, where there's like lines going generally up down here, and we even see it kind of bend a bit, go around and kind of pinch over to the left here. It's like it's going up to here. Maybe it keeps going, actually. It looks like it keeps going in the actual stone. Even though the larger scale that's being eroded is other directions, it's still going through this way. It's kind of like a 45-degree angle relative to basically like this way on this side. One. Basically around here somewhere, going this way. See it going this way, around this way, but also bending. I don't know if it's bending even though. I feel like it is bending like here. So it's probably bending where things like that are more, while it's still going with the rest of the flow. See it going this way, joining this flow basically. It'd be cool to just do this and combine it all into one image, regardless of the quality of the image, so that it is like one image, not changing the zoom. That's weird. This is the end. The end of the opening has this little thing there. This, to me, really reminds me of a key element that even though there's a current going down into the stone, where it's basically going from generally this side into here and hitting it. It's not just flowing like that, it's also eddying as it flows. And it's creating erosion patterns, I'd say, that we're seeing here in this eddying process. That maybe are playing into like this spiraling off of it here. So maybe it was going right to left and running into resistance over here, so that some of it had to go this way. And it led to currents going more that way. Even though it's still propagating and drilling, but like as it drills, it's also having this type of effect, so that it goes up this way and drills in a even more curious manner. I'm not even sure this is the side. I thought it was the drill in side. Seems, I don't know. It's kind of ammonite-like. I'm like moving the stone. Like, no, dude. Definitely some patterns going on, non-random. Not the shape of the Shaligram, but non-random patterns. Oh, I'm like trying to go to the next image. Scroll over. Whew. Assume that's like a blend thing. This across the years. Dust, who knows? I'm not really prepared to consider Vajrakita and like that it's part of the Shaligram, unless I really see strong evidence. I keep having that thought, but a lot of times there definitely is just like dust. The way that's so circular. You know, circular, but like symmetrical-ish. It's a little off balance there, but otherwise. Almost like it has one boundary here that arcs around and another that actually goes over there. Inner boundary that goes more to there, outer boundary to there, and then in here, like a circle there, maybe down here several. Something's up. It's crazy, none of this Like orange is visible. Really? I guess it is. It's not, doesn't draw my attention to it as like hugely different. The shale versus over here, but it's so eroded and porous. What's going on here? Oh, that's where that friggin' that thing is. Chakra. Wow. You can just see it like flowing while having layers that are kind of wrapping around here. But then like that. Looking rather phallic, I guess. I guess that's the alien. So we have determined this is a male alien. Okay. Oops. I like to hide behind the word phallic in case someone isn't picking up what I'm putting down, so I'm not just like talking about penises. Penis! I feel like it's even funnier in like the circumstances. Oh shit. I don't even know what the circumstances are, really. I'm just recording. So this does look kind of porous when we look at the actual rock. Like, we definitely see a pore like here, and here, here. Something going on there. Little erosion there, just hanging out. Something going on with like the way this is. One of them I found somewhere looked like a chakra. It was crazy. It was like, it was on this. It looked like a chakra, but it was like super magnified. I was like, whoa. Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Maybe these dark spots are places erosion was happening, like seeping the black shale out of the stone as the currents were flowing out of the stone slash in, but also out, a lot of times out in when it's like little pores. Like it's bursting at the seams kind of thing when like there's internal, external pressures interacting. Kind of like little volcanoes of black shale, I guess. I'm so doomed. Like, no one fucking cares. I'm working on this video. I'm like, this better be. This amount of the amount of energy I'm gonna put into this video, if I actually manage to do it, what I intend to do, if it fucking flops, it would be so disappointing. I mean, I'd be super happy to have made it, no matter what. But it would still be kind of like flops in that no one gives a shit. Like, even then, present the fucking most obvious case that, yeah, that dude has a point. And still it doesn't fly because people don't listen to, like, hear out the whole thing of it. It just doesn't catch on. It's looking like little chambers in an eddy centered around maybe here. In like an ammonite type structure. Just like subtly eroding the pattern. Like almost looking like a flower of life kind of thing. Like a bunch of droplets. All creating ripples, but they're all just like little eddies that then are interacting with one another and creating a larger scale structure that just didn't have the energy. Wow. In cases like this, it really makes me think that the striations are internal and deep and not just at the layer, at the surface when this is happening. Like, this just makes it more clear at times like this. When there's something like this going on the rock, where it actually becomes a gap that has holes in it seems. This is probably a good spot right there. Really don't see it as much close here. Oh. Something going on this way, something going on this way, and then this. Like a picture frame. Psst. Oh, wow. Seeing those other ones makes this more interesting. Wow. Hey man, checking out Shaligram. Looking at this Shaligram right here. Just kind of perusing its surface. Super close. If that's confusing, I can answer more questions. Oh, shit. They are eroded in incredible ways that reveal their formation process, because this is not created by a fossil. This is created purely by erosion. 100% by erosion. No animals involved. just complex patterns of erosion because the current flows were high energy, essentially. And they created just something that doesn't really make sense scientifically in modern science. In the paradigm that these are actually fossils. Because they're not fossils, they're eroded by currents. That's what this is all about here, the Shaligram Zone. So, but I'm looking at this one. See what I can find on it. I just got it yesterday to check it out. It's been on my radar for like a year. This is my first opportunity to actually see it. AKA, I paid for it. I'm not proud to say you're not supposed to buy and sell shaligrams according to the piranhas. I mean, I guess I could argue I donated, because you can donate and then get gifted shaligrams, but that's not really what happened. When it's an online purchase, it's an online purchase. Although I buy many through poker winnings that I get gift cards online. So I pretend that it is gifted to me. Anyway. Whoa, like what the fuck? I lost it, where'd it go? Too zoomed out, I guess. I was trying to get all of that in one image. It's really clear down here. They're like in lines. Up above there is not quite as clear. Looking like a Wi-Fi signal or something like. Maybe. There we go. There we go. The striations. Shoot. Lighting's tricky on this surface. Let's probably focus on the ammonite's structure. Ammonite meaning stone of Ammon. Not meaning ammonoid, which is just a false interpretation. This almost looks like a little ammonite. like a center there. Just in terms of like a eddy happening, because that's how ammonites form. That was at the center there. That was kind of trapped. Going like that way. At an angle. Maybe especially underneath this. And back this way. So there must have been current going this way, running into current going that way. Or just pressures, I guess. Could have been going this way? I don't think so. That feels wrong. Feels wrong. Feels right. The way the greens are, they're turning towards it too a little bit. Going straight up to about here. And then start turning a bit. Meanwhile, the center thing is incredible. It's really hard to see in the microscope to make out anything but just a bunch of chaos. It's really eroded looking, but also, I don't even know. I just don't know. Like, what the frick? Little fibers coated in earth materials, I guess. It seems like it's not even eroded up here. Like, in terms of, like, this looks more like an actual material. And when we look at it, it's just kind of like speckled. But this is what the speckled looks like under a microscope. Some this way type stuff going on. That's interesting. A little odd. It's giving me some Vajrakita vibes again. Hey, Mr. Alien. That is incredible. Alien in his spaceship. Is that all I got? I just got an alien in a spaceship today, I guess. That one's scary. It's so rounded. I don't know. Did I look at this? I did look at this one, didn't I? I'm out of it. I've just been doing whatever the fuck. Looking like a spider or something. The way it eroded. The way it eroded. This looks kind of like a out west, like some kind of canyon or whatever. Maybe that's what the Grand Canyon is. Something more related to Colorado Plateau ammonite structure than I give it credit for. It's crazy at this magnification, it looks kind of like this. The chakra here could erode away, or not erode away, but like basically this portion could become the top. So that current is going down through here and running into resistance, like, but within the chakra itself, and then going back up to here, but around this, so that it's basically making a shaligram. Like a full-blown shaligram, like that structure of the chakra is basically the full structure of an ammonite. But it's only, when we look at it like in reality, it's just an imprint in terms of fossil concept of what's going on here. Like here, maybe some under like boundary that could have been made this whole thing its own shaligram and its own ammonite, but it just kind of created some pores along the plane of the current that would maybe tend to happen. Just a thought. I'm so excited for this freaking documentary I'm making. Oh my god. You see it like opening, like a zipper, unzipping. That maybe suggests this here was actually attached more than a... And it's like unzipping, so like is attached here. This one's actually still attached, but then here it detached. Here it detached and started to bend. in the structure, even though it's still pointing at it like all the way to here and pointing at it basically to at least here, but then it bends. Whereas over here, pointing at it, and then we see that continues all the way to here and it like cuts across this. But this bend goes in off of it too, and then again it goes across, and just goes in though and creates these dendrites. That would be like these structures in the forefront here. Like just out of the unzipping, but like part of the process is that it's actually eroding. So like this one will erode back some, and as it erodes back some, it will, if the process continued, it would erode back and become more like that in terms of distance away, etc. So it's actually eroding into it while shaping it and kind of making it more of a face like we see down there. Incredible. I'm gonna take this off here first. Okay, let's see. So it's just generally eddies going through channels, carving channels, and drilling in basically in various locations into the resistance underneath it. This one not getting as far and eroding like a smaller eddy down there more so, and then maybe even like a more structure in other ways, and then doing it again here, but not getting as far and kind of going more so there, and then there and there. But then the current is going up this way into these pockets. I don't know if it's going up or down, but I don't really feel like thinking about it. And creating these lobes opposite, and then engulfing these like things that are becoming the dendrites that we were just looking at, while going in beyond, like this way, going further than the thing. Good for you. Best views, people. Very good for you. That's weird. Nothing to see there. Another circle. But I was thinking like up this way. There's definitely some other stuff going on. There's also seems to be like a circle around here-ish. Okay, dudes. I think I'm gonna go, actually. I don't really... I'm doing other stuff. I don't know. I guess I could play at the end now. If people made it this far, I'll play. What I have... Alright, dudes. I'm gonna mute me. Turn his music off. I muted myself and kept talking. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, dudes. Enjoy. Hope, looking forward to this. My expectation is at least an hour for this video. It's now, this is 6.5 minutes. It's now about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. I'm not gonna play that because it's not as cool. This is more the cool stuff that I spent a lot of time on and used AI to make, and like this background's AI, all sorts of stuff. But I guess till next time, I'm gonna hide me, I guess. Peace out. This is a shaligram. There are no stones of greater scientific significance on Earth than shaligrams, or so I contend. Found exclusively in the Kaligandaki Valley of the Himalayas in Nepal, in the black silty shales of the Jurassic to early Cretaceous Spidey Shale Formation, they are described scientifically as concretions containing fossils such as ammonites, belemnites, and crinoids. While commonly found in the Kaligandaki River, in Hindu beliefs, the nearby lake known as Damodar Kund is considered the birthplace of shaligrams. Damodar means roped around the abdomen or belly in Sanskrit, referring to a story where Krishna's mother bound him with a rope around his waist as a child for being mischievous. These stones are documented in Sanskrit texts that date to at least the 2nd century BC and are kept in temples, monasteries, and homes as they are considered non-anthropomorphic representations of Lord Vishnu. Before modern science was conceived of, these stones were documented and their nature was described in various Hindu scriptures. There are several legends of how these stones formed. In one story found in the Brahma Vaivarta, Padma, and Varaha Puranas, the Hindu goddess Tulsi was Vrinda in a previous birth who became a devotee of Vishnu from childhood. In order to obtain her desire to be reunited with Vishnu as her husband, she went to the Badari forest to endure 100,000 divine years of penance. Brahman appeared and told her she would be united with Vishnu, but first she was to marry a demon named Jalandhar, who was born when Lord Shiva sent fire from Indra's third eye after opening it into the ocean. Jalandhar staked his claim on the treasure churned from the ocean, having emerged from it, and when the gods refused to acknowledge his claim, he declared war. However, nobody could kill him because of a boon that while his wife Vrinda was chaste, he could not be touched by death. When the gods asked Vishnu for help, he could not kill Jalandhar because of a promise to his wife Lakshmi, who was also born out of the ocean and considered Jalandhar like a brother. The demons defeated the gods, and Jalandhar became the lord of the three worlds, heaven, earth, and the underworld. Jalandhar sought to acquire Shiva's wife and home as his own, and having mastered the ability to change form, went to Shiva's wife Parvati, disguised as Shiva. She saw through his disguise and attacked him, but he was able to escape. Parvati then asked Vishnu to trick Vrinda, but as she was a devotee of his, he did not want to deceive her. Yet the gods convinced him. He then went to Jalandhar's palace, in the form of Jalandhar, where Vrinda touched his feet. As this broke her pledge, the boon was removed and Jalandhar was killed in battle by Lord Shiva, who threw his head in their palace. Vrinda, recognizing what had happened, asked who was standing before her. Vishnu returned to his original form. Vrinda cursed Vishnu to turn into stone because of the cold, hard heart necessary to deceive her, and Lord Vishnu became Shaligram. Vrinda became a plant that Vishnu named Tulsi. In other variations, she transformed herself into the Kaligandaki river and the sacred Tulsi plant. In another variation, Vishnu disguises himself as Brahman and visits Jalandhar and obtains his protective talisman, allowing Shiva to kill Jalandhar with a lance. And another legend is found in the Skanda Purana, describing shaligrams not as containing fossils of ancient sea creatures, but rather as being etched by Vajrakita, commonly referred to as celestial worms. In Sanskrit, Vajra translates as thunderbolt, adamantine, or diamond, where Kita means worm or insect. Vishnu also is said to have wandered once in the form of Vajrakita on the surface of the earth. The gods, seeing him whirling about with very great splendor, took the same shape and approached him. The world surrounded by the swarm was whirled about so extensively that Vishnu took the shape of a rock, afraid of the consequences otherwise, and stopped the moving of his bird mount Garuda and of the gods. Garuda entered a large hole of the rock, followed by the gods as bees, making themselves each a separate abode to dwell in for the conversion of infidels. Modern science has claimed that shaligrams contain fossils of sea creatures known as ammonites or ammonoids, and thereby modern science has rejected the Sanskrit ancient descriptions as baseless and pure fantasy. Therefore, it is beneficial to revisit how we arrived where we are today, because it is modern science that is mistaken on what these stones are, not the ancient texts. The scientific interpretation of shaligrams begins first with the more general interpretation of ammonites. Unlike many advancements in science, where an abrupt eureka moment happened, the interpretation of ammonites was gradual, literally meaning stone of Ammon, due to resemblance of their structure to the ram's horns of Egyptian deity Ammon. They were described by Pliny in 75 AD. They were later in England interpreted as coiled up snakes turned to stone and called snake stones, sometimes carved to look more like snakes.